Let me, wait. Good morning. I'd like to call to order this business meeting of the Lewis County Board of County Commissioners for Monday, April 15th, 2019. We do have a quorum. All three commissioners are present. And prior to the flag salute this morning, I think it would be appropriate for us to observe a moment of silence for the loss of the Cowlitz County Sheriff's Deputy. So if we could do that right now, just a moment of silence. Thank you. Dr. Lindsay Pollock, would you lead us in our flag salute this morning?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we have no public comment this morning.
I move that we approve the presentation of a proclamation recognizing April 14th through the 20th as National Public Safety Telecommunications Officer Week.
Second.
Mr. Mansfield, welcome.
Welcome. You've honored me with asking me to read this. If I can get through all the whereases and therefores, the words behind all that, what's important. So this is National Public Safety Telecommunication Officers Week. And I'd like to read this. Whereas emergencies that require law enforcement, fire, or emergency medical services can occur at any time. Whereas when an emergency occurs, the prompt response of law enforcement officers, firefighters, and paramedics is critical to the protection of life and the preservation of property. And whereas the safety of our law enforcement officers and firefighters is dependent upon the quality and accuracy of information obtained from citizens who telephone the Lewis County 911 Communication Center. And whereas public safety telecommunication officers are the first and one of the most critical contact our citizens have with emergency services. And whereas public safety telecommunication officers are the single vital link for our police officers and firefighters, monitoring their activities by radio, providing them information, and helping to ensure their safety. And whereas public safety telecommunication officers of the Lewis County 911 Communications have contributed substantially to the apprehension of criminals, suppression of fires, and treatment of patients. And whereas each telecommunication officer has exhibited trust, responsibility, respect, fairness, and a caring demeanor in carrying out their professional duties this past year. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of County Commissioners declares the week of April 14th through the 20th, 2019, to be National Public Safety Telecommunication Officers Week in Lewis County, in honor of the men and women whose diligence and professionalism keeps our first responders safe and our citizens safe. I guess the last sentence is really what it's all about, keeping our first responders and citizens safe. And it's a time, I guess, right now to say thank you to those who have served in often a very overlooked public safety capacity. You directed 911 to embark on a journey of change back in early 2016. They've come a long way, and a lot of people have helped with this change to get where we are today. I think that our story speaks for itself in terms of positive change. We are meeting our public safety mission. Example, last year, 133 calls came into the center in 2018. We had 0 complaints from our citizens. We had 45 inquiries out of 133,000 calls from our user group. That's a 35% decrease from 2017. Our efforts and service are promoting trust, confidence, and a feeling of safety and security and quality service. We are meeting our budget authority. 2018 was the first time in years that we didn't have to dip into reserves or have to ask you for more money to cover our expenses. I came in the middle of 2017. I had to approach you at the end of 2017 and ask for additional monies. And I met with my staff and I said, this will never happen again. And it has not this last year, and it won't this next year. We've had a reduction in overtime over 36% from 2017. That's an $80,000 difference from changing how we operate itself. We are being creative and innovative in finding more effective and efficient ways to conduct our business and deliver our service. We are hiring and retaining good, competent people. We are providing timely and consistent training so that our people know how to do their jobs. We've doubled our training time from 2017 and 2018 to over 1,080 hours for our staff. We're implementing good, strong policy and procedure to guide us, policy and procedure that meets national CLIA accreditation standards and also addresses our responder needs. We're also ensuring professional, engaging supervision to ensure we are doing the right things in the right way for the right reasons. We're not perfect, but in striving for perfection, we're making a positive difference every day. And our annual report, when it comes out, will detail those differences so that you're able to see not only just numbers, but a story behind all this. I'd like to introduce some of my staff here today. One of our newest, Cheyenne Lyon, she's one of our trainers. Jennifer Dukeman, one of my newest supervisors. And I have to say this about her innovation and her enthusiasm. It is unmatched in anything I've been involved with or seen my entire career. And I've seen some great things come out of the sheriff's office. And that includes you too, Sheriff Rob. Thank you. Not great, just not only great things, but a good supervisor, okay? I mean, I can't say enough for the things she's doing and the way she's leading as a supervisor and the changes that she's making, not only in her shift, but within our supervisor group and the rest of the people. Scott Mattoon, he is in charge of our radio infrastructure, and he takes a lot of grief from a lot of people, but without him, nothing works. Nothing works. And him and Jason Anderson do an outstanding job in keeping things running, not only in the dispatch center, but this large, almost invisible infrastructure we have out there that most people know nothing about. And then I have Scott Smitherman, who has stepped in when Dave Anderson left, and he's doing an outstanding job as our manager up there, keeping things running, keeping things moving forward, and being progressive in the things that we do. And then Cheryl Millman is our administrative assistant, and she also is a key piece to making sure everything works out up there, just as any administrative assistant is in any office. Mm-hmm. And I'll leave it there. Are there any questions?
Steve, I want to say thank you very much for your hard work and your dedication, and you brought us from a very difficult place to a much better place. And we thank you for that. We appreciate it.
I appreciate that, but it has been a lot of people who have been involved in this, and my piece is at a point in time where I think my skills were needed, and we're looking forward to the future. There'll be more change. Change is constant, and we are giving you something that is special, and I think you can rely on, and our first responders can be proud of.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you, Steve.
And Steve, I was going to say, I appreciated all the quick response that folks did up there when we had all those rash of burglaries in Centralia, and just being able to call 911 and get folks there on the scene. These folks were instrumental in making that happen, and I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank your staff.
It's been moved and seconded to approve a proclamation recognizing April 14th through 20th, 2019 as National Public Safety Telecommunications Officers Week. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Passed.
Okay, I make a motion to approve one notice item. That is Resolution 19-016.
Second.
Mr. Metcalf.
Good morning, Commissioners. Josh Metcalf, Lewis County Public Works Director, speaking on Resolution 19-106. This is call for sealed bids for the North Fork Road Realignment Project. Bids are due to the clerk of the board by 11 a.m. on May 7th, 2019. Bids will be opened at 11 a.m. on May 7th. Bids submitted after 11 a.m. will not be accepted. North Fork project is for improvements of approximately 1.4 miles of roadway. This resolution is requesting approval to publish notice or call for bids. Any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Josh.
Thanks.
It's been moved and second to approve one notice item, Resolution 19-106. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
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 Passed.
I move that we approve the consent items, including approval of minutes of April 8th, 2019, and Resolution 19-107.
Second.
Suzette.
Good morning, Commissioner. Suzette Smith, Chief Accountant, here to present to you Resolution number 19-107. This is the weekly approval of warrants and payroll against the various county departments. Last week, we issued 166 regular warrants and direct disbursements. The warrants were numbered 812871 through 813022, and the direct disbursements were numbered 718, 719, 723, 737, 745 through 748, 753, 790 through 792, 794, and 797, for a total dollar amount $409,960.57. In addition, we had payroll on the 5th. We had 648 combined payroll and automatic deposits for a total of $3,649,045.12. We note the following series of warrants as a skip in sequence. These warrants were issued on behalf of the Special Purpose Districts, number 812865 through 812870. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you, Suzette. It's been moved and seconded to approve two consent items, the approval of minutes from the April 8th, 2019 business meeting, and also Resolution 19-107, approval of warrants. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Passed.
I make a motion to approve 4 deliberation items, starting with Resolution 19-0108, and then ending with Resolution 19-111.
Second.
Ms. Napier.
Morning, Lee Napier, Director of Community Development, speaking on Resolution 19-108. This agenda item is approval of the 17th supplement to a personal services agreement between Lewis County and West Consulting. So the scope of this work is the ongoing maintenance and operation of the early warning system. So this is a flood authority project, and we are the fiscal agent for them on this item. Any questions?
Thank you, Lee.
Resolution 19-109. Amend the interdepartmental cost-sharing arrangement for pictometry aerial photo projects to increase the assessor's share to add the area covered by the Skookumchuck Wind Farm development easement. This is an amendment to an existing agreement with pictometry that was approved by the board with Resolution 13-448. This is for aerial photos taken in 2013, 2016, and 2019. We're in our final flight of this agreement, and this amendment will add some additional area to the scheduled flight for 2019 to include the area of the proposed wind farm at the request of the assessor's office. The assessor's office has agreed to pay for the additional cost of this due to this being their specific request. Cost sharing agreement has been set up, and this is approving that agreement between Public Works, who is the holder of the contract with pictometry, and the assessor's office.
Thank you, Josh.
Thank you.
Ms. Dillon.
Betsy Dillon with Lewis County Public Works, speaking to Resolution 19-110. This resolution is to approve Lewis County Water District's number 2's water system plan. This is required by RCW 57-1610 that the county approves the water system plans of the districts before they can become effective. The Lewis County Public Works and the Lewis County Department of Health have both reviewed and approved the plans, and they recommend that you, the Board of Commissioners, also approve the plan.
Thank you, Betsy.
Thank you.
Mr. Martin.
Morning, Commissioners. Eric Martin, County Manager, speaking to Resolution 19-111, amending .09 loan agreement with the Lewis County Public Facilities District. Back in 2013, the PFD received funds from the Distressed County Rural Economic Development Public Facilities Advisory Committee for grant funding in the amount of $550,000, as well as a loan for $550,000. So this is just amending the agreement on the repayment of that loan portion. So the PFD agrees to pay the loan to the county in the amount of $366,667, which is the amount that's left on that loan to be repaid, in the following manner. $122,223 will be paid from bond proceeds in 2019, and then 4 annual payments of $61,111 each will be made beginning in 2021 and made through 2024. Any questions? Thanks.
Thank you, Eric. It has been moved and seconded to approve 4 deliberation items, beginning with Resolution 19-108 through 19-111. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye. Aye. Passed. Go to the order. Commissioners.
Well, we all know it is National County Government Month, and I just wanted to give a little history about where we sit in Chehalis. So, you know, our courthouse was built in 1927. The mother of Chehalis was Eliza Barrett. And Eliza Barrett, when she and her husband bought this acreage, and you're supposed to have 640 acres, donation land claim, well, due to a surveying error, it's 1 acre short of that. And so that kind of accounts for some of the streets misalignment, like when you're downtown market and things are going behind the stores and they're not quite square. That was a result of that 1 acre surveying error. Now, Eliza Barrett was quite an interesting lady in that she was married 4 times. She did not know how to read or write, but she was a good businesswoman. And so she signed things with an X. And when Mr. Saunders died, her first husband, she had 4 sons, and they weren't necessarily friendly to her, but she did the best she could. She married a man named McGuire, who went out to look for the cows to bring them in and never came back. So she divorced him. Then Mr. Basie had a problem with booze, and he sold liquor to the Native Americans, and he was thrown in jail, so she divorced him. And the final one was Mr. Barrett. And Mr. Barrett was in cahoots with some of the folks in Chehalis that did not like Main Street being right here. They wanted the downtown to be on Market, but she would not let go of many of those lots so that could happen. So Mr. Barrett came to her and said, would you sign this paper? It means nothing, but would you just sign it? Well, that was to release all those lots for sale that she wanted to keep. So she divorced him. So this poor lady, when she died, and she's buried at Fern Hill, and they misspelled her last name, Barrett. So one of these days, we're hoping to correct her tombstone and put the right name, spelling of her name. So that's Eliza Barrett, the mother of Chehalis, who we have on our property where we sit right now, was her 639 acres. Thank you.
Well, thank you. So much for family values, right? A lesson on family values, I guess. But anyway, you obviously a large contributor to Chehalis and the surrounding areas. So thank you.
Press conference, anything from the press this morning? Please. Identify yourself, please.
Even though we know who you are.
Susan Delaire with DeWall Publishing, and I guess I would like to ask, how is her name correctly spelled?
Barrett.
Thank you.
All right, Alex, top that. Okay. All right, thank you.
Mr. Gunther looks like yes.
Oh, I'm sorry, sir.
Come on up.
I'm Bob Gunther. I live in at 376 State Route 508 in Chehalis, and I was talking to one of the commissioners before the meeting here about our power plant at Centralia and the fact that it's going to be shutting down in 2025. And I just wanted to make sure that I publicly state that in the legislature this year, there's a bill, and I'm not sure it's passed the House, but I'm not sure it's passed the Senate yet, for to remove the state of Washington off of fossil fuels by 2045. I think that we should be thinking about that in this county. If it doesn't pass this year, it'll probably come up again, and it'll come up again, and maybe it'll be 2047. But I think in the fact that TransAlta is looking at building a large solar installation out there, we have a large wind project possibly going in east of the plant. We have the University of Washington looking at a biofuels refinery here. We have to be on top of all of this for the eventual fact that we'll probably come off fossil fuels by 2045, 2047, somewhere in there. I think we need to be on the cutting edge of providing those non-fossil fuels right here in our county. As one of the commissioners said, we've got land and we've got the resources and human resources here to make this happen. So we should be thinking about those things for the future, because and be on the right side of the paradigm shift when it shifts. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob.
Okay.
Okay.
Seeing no further business on our agenda, I move that we adjourn.
Second.
We are adjourned. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.